Let me start off by saying my son, Adam, is 22 years old. Back when my ex-wife, Tori, and I were trying for kids, we found out that I was infertile. We decided we'd adopt. Then about 4 months later, my ex-wife is pregnant. I was thrilled because I thought maybe the doctor made a mistake. No, I was wrong. My ex-wife cheated on me and I didn't find out until 20 years later. Tori told me 2 years ago that she cheated on me, and we did a paternity test to make sure, and well, he's not my biological son. My ex and I divorced a few weeks later. Ever since my son found out the truth, he wanted to meet his biological father. He did, and they started to become really close. It hurt me much more than I thought it would. He's an adult, he can make his own decisions, but it hurt really bad. They started to bond really well, and all of a sudden Adam became really distant from me. It's been like this for almost a year and a half. I try to text him to make plans for dinner and he said he's busy with Chris, biological father. I tried numerous times to connect with him by calling and texting, but he never made plans aside from a meal every other month. We used to do stuff every other week, but it's been completely different since he found out about Chris. I couldn't stand it. My son, who I raised since he was a baby, treated me like I didn't matter. Anytime we'd actually have plans, he would still be cold and distant. What I mean by that is became much more defensive of his personal life. I'd ask him how classes or friends were and he'd just say they were fine but never go deeper than that. He also changed his major from econ to computer science and didn't even mention it to me until a year later. I told him how much he was hurting me because of how distant he was, and he apologized and said he'd do better. He never did. I told him numerous times and he never changed. He was still distant. What was the final straw for me was the phone conversation I had with him last week. He said he was going to change his last name to Chris's because he liked it so much and because they were close. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I told him, I can't believe you are going to do this. That's really disappointing to me. If you decide to change your last name, go ahead, but if you do that, then I'm no longer your father and I don't want to be involved in your life. He hung up on me. I didn't even bother reaching out because I know he wouldn't respond. I stand by what I said. I meant every word and still do. The last name change to me means he no longer views me as a father and views Chris as his, despite the fact he's 22. My family told me I'm being unreasonable, meanwhile my best friends think it's reasonable. Not the idiot. It's a shame that your relationship deteriorated like that, but he is an adult and clearly he is choosing Chris over you. I'm sure it has been really tough on you since you were the one that raised him, and wow, your ex an idiot, but you can't force him into maintaining your father-son relationship. Maybe after he grows up a bit and matures, you guys can have some other kind of relationship. Sorry, you got dealt such an awful hand, dude. Not the idiot. You told your son he was hurting you by being distant, yet he ignored you. Granted, taking a 2-day break wasn't the greatest thing for your relationship, but I can see how you need it. Adam also is 22. He's not 14. Sure, his brain may not be fully developed, but by 22 any adult should know shutting someone out of your life like that is hurtful. You are the idiot. You're a grown-up adult and you are taking your hurt feelings out of your son, who you raised and is just trying to engage with this whole other part of himself that he just found out about. You should really be encouraging him through this period of self-discovery while you inspect why you want to avoid looking at the situation so badly that you would disown your son that you claim to love. It makes sense that your feelings would be hurt, but you don't just cut people out of your life for hurting your feelings. First up, I love my wife very, very, very much, but does she drive crazy sometimes? I'm a big dude, I'm 6 feet 4 inches and I'm always hungry. I'm a firefighter, so I'm always on my feet, and simply put, I just love food. My wife always eats stuff like salads and nuts, but she will always help herself to some of my food, which freaks me out because it's just the right amount of food that I want to eat, but she'll go ahead and take some. I've asked her so many times to leave my food alone and she'll get really defensive and say, it's just a little, babe, you'll be fine. Except I'm not fine, I'm hungry. And then when I'm hungry I get hangry and I snap at everyone because I'm hungry. Things came ahead at our kid's 3rd birthday party. My wife said no to cake, despite me bringing over a slice to her, so I gave that slice to my cousin's kid who was on his 2nd slice. My girl ended up eating the whole slice whilst I held the plate, and then when I went to get myself some, all the cake had finished. Lately, my mother-in-law gave me the idea to just spice my food to stop my wife from taking mine, since she can't stand spicy food. I tried that yesterday. I ordered pizza and asked my wife if she wanted one. She said no. I went ahead and got pepperoni and jalapenos, and predictably when it came she came over and got all mad because it was spicy and she couldn't eat it. I told her I had to take drastic measures because I'm fed up with sharing my food, and she called me a selfish idiot. Not the idiot. But you are a bit silly to have admitted why you got it spicy. Why not just say you've taken a notion for spicy food lately? Better yet, when you order food and ask her if she wants some, remind her that you will be ordering spicy for yourself. That way, if she really wants something, she will get her own order. Not the idiot. First of all, this is hilarious. You should look into a career in writing. But ultimately you've asked your wife not to eat your food, she explicitly says she doesn't want it, and then she takes your food. It's a classic dilemma, yes, but she's an idiot. This is a creative solution to that problem. If she wanted her own pizza, she should have let you order her a pizza. And, to be honest, it sounds like she needs to work on her relationship with food, eating. Not the idiot. The whole "I don't want the pizza but you're supposed to read my mind and know that I really do want the pizza" thing is exhausting. She can figure out how to be an adult and tell you she wants some or get her own food. I bet if you start ordering extra, she'll decide that she doesn't want any and you'll get yelled at for wasting money on food you're not going to finish. Basically, I'm 25 and she's 23. She gets company credit for food and drinks as she works for like a week at a time. She cooks all her own food and uses that money to buy a coffee each morning. She always goes to the same coffee shop. I and my girlfriend are very comfortable and she's bi, so sometimes we will both say how hot a girl is or whatever. She always says the guy who serves her coffee is beautiful. She confirmed that she wasn't attracted to him but that he was stunning and a very pretty man. That was fine. Anyway, she goes in every day and always has stories to tell about the guy behind the counter. I trust her entirely. I know she doesn't really want him and wouldn't do anything. Anyway, I went in the other day and straight away knew who she meant as this gorgeous long-haired dude took my order. I ordered her favorite drink as she was at home and he said, "Oh, is that for Emma?" And when I looked shocked he went, "I just know that's her usual. No one else really orders it." I said, "Yes, it is, but by the way pal, she has a boyfriend and it's me." The guy kind of laughed and I said that I appreciate he's doing his job, but to lay off her is, in my eyes, I think he was flirting. He laughed again and said, "A sure thing." I didn't tell my girlfriend, who went to get coffee a few days later and came home raging, saying how dare I embarrass her like that. This freaked me out cause why doesn't she want him to know? She said she already mentioned me and that the guy is not straight and she knows his boyfriend. Fair, innocent mistake on my behalf, but the girlfriend never told me this beautiful man was not straight. She stormed out and still won't speak to me without making sly digs. You are the idiot. Surprised you didn't pee on her to mark your territory. She's not your property. Either you trust her or you don't, and the only reason you need to tell a dude she's my girlfriend is if he's one of the idiots that won't take no for an answer unless she has a good enough excuse, i.e. being claimed by another man. But since that is not the situation, you are completely idiot. You are the idiot. The fact you had to specifically mention it to him makes you sound jealous and really clingy. The fact that he knew it was her order already indicates to him that it's someone she knows who is getting her drink, and he probably would have guessed it was her boyfriend, you, already before you said anything like that. You are the idiot. He was polite and friendly, really good qualities for a barista, and you immediately jump to the age-old cliche that any guy nice to your girlfriend has ulterior motives. I can understand being insecure because that's human nature. That doesn't excuse you being rude. No matter how nicely you said it, it would have come off as rude, or distrusting your girlfriend, which you proved to be doing by warning off the barista instead of just trusting her not to do anything. My newly single friend, 30, met a man, 32, and she came over to tell me about him. He was a new customer at her workplace and he chatted her up, leaving his number. They went for dinner at an upscale restaurant this past weekend. She just got through a messy breakup with her son Charlie's father last month and has been really down about that, so it was nice to see her this happy. We were having a nice visit until she threw in Charlie didn't seem to like, new guy, and refused to talk the whole time. I asked her what she was talking about and how they had a chance to meet. She admitted she took him along on the date. I was floored. Just a minute ago she was confiding excitedly that they had been hugging and kissing on said date, so it would be apparent to Charlie that this isn't just mom's friend. She asked me what was wrong, so I told her I was shocked and thought that she shouldn't introduce them again until she knows the guy really well. She laughed, saying, No, it's okay. I was talking to new guy at workplace and he said he loves kids. He was totally cool with it. Again, I was floored that her mind automatically went to considering new guy's feelings but not those of her child. I was probably a little harsh, but I told her this was about Charlie. The kid is 4 and his parents broke up a month ago. You don't take him on your first date with some guy you don't know, and then hug and kiss in front of him while he's too upset to even speak. That's the kind of stuff that emotionally scars a kid. I felt like I needed to speak up for Charlie, who is a sweet and very shy boy. She sees nothing wrong with it. Her defense is she wants to spend as much time as she can with her son, so on the days she has him he's coming along on her dates. She said it's not like I'd be relaxing with a guy in front of him. I'm not doing anything inappropriate, why are you being like this? I feel so sorry for the kid being exposed this intimately to his mother's dating life, and I told her so. She asked me why I can't just be happy for her, told me it's not my place to judge how she parents her child, and then stormed off. I don't know if the friendship is salvageable. I don't think I did anything wrong by standing up for Charlie, but my husband says I was out of line and that I should have stayed quiet. Is my outrage warranted, or am I an idiot who needs to mind her own business and keep her mouth shut? Not the idiot. She's crazy, she's only been broken up for a month and already dating. Chill out lady, take some time to be alone and with your kid. Who brings a kid on a date that is so inappropriate and weird? She's a mess and will end up in a mess. Any normal man isn't going to go on dates with her if she brings her kid, so she will end up with a crazy man. Not the idiot. As a single mom, there's nothing I hate more than single moms introducing their children to every man they meet. It's honestly repulsive to me. Her comment about wanting to spend time with her son so he has to come in dates when it's her days? Or how about you just spend one-on-one time with your kids since you don't see them every day? Good for you for speaking up for Charlie. Not the idiot. She's being selfish and completely thinking about her own self-interests. Parents splitting up is an emotionally turbulent time for a child, especially one that young where he doesn't understand what's happening. Furthermore, it's weird enough to bring your child on a first date with anyone, ever, but to bring him on a date with a stranger only a month after splitting up with a dad? That's insane. I met my husband 13 years ago. We were married after 2 years of being together. When I first met him, he told me that he had a 2-year-old daughter that he had no interest in being a father to and that she wasn't a planned baby. I accepted this and accepted that he just paid child support and that was it. His child lives with her mom in Pasadena, and we live in Vermont, so as you can imagine, worlds away. My husband never once expressed an interest in going to see his child, maintaining contact. They never spoke or exchanged birthday cards, Christmas cards, etc. My husband said that he never had any intention to be a dad and that this child was born despite his pleas for abortion. I accepted this because I myself am child-free. My childhood was spent slaving away looking after my mother's 5 other children, and while she was an addict it fell on me to be a mom. I am not okay with children, having children, or wanting to foster maternal bonds with children. When I entered into this relationship, it was 100% done under the trust that my husband had no contact with this child or wanted to be a father. Last year, his daughter made a Facebook account and reached out to him. She spilled her heart out, said she had sleuthed her way into finding her father, she wanted a relationship desperately, etc. My husband came to me in turmoil and in tears asked for permission to go and see her. I was angry, my world had turned upside down, my own place in his world had now changed, everything was different, but I swallowed my hurt, and never once did I let him feel my own fear. I told him to go and make his peace. Since then he has regularly flown to see her. He has had an apparent complete change of heart and has taken on the role of daddy with enthusiasm and gusto, to the delight of both his daughter and her mother. A few weeks ago, he sat down and had a serious talk with me. He said he knew my stance on children, but he begged me to integrate this child into my life, to let her come and stay with us from time to time, to open my heart to her. I told him I couldn't do that. I said I would rather divorce than be a step-parent to a child I never knew would be in my life. To be clear, I honestly 100% know for certain that they had never communicated before last year. Had I known, I would have left, as it's unfair to this child. She only has one father, whereas I can go and find another partner. I feel horrible. I feel like a terrible person, like I'm an evil witch, but I also feel like this is horribly unfair to me. Any insights on if my behavior inappropriate would be very much appreciated. Isn't it an easy option that he has a relationship with his daughter and occasional visits while you don't form much of an attachment? My dad's wife and I are friendly, but I wouldn't say there's anything motherly or maternal in our relationship. It would require setting some boundaries and keeping them, but nothing impossible. Not the idiot your husband knows you want a child-free life and decided after 13 years together to change that. Unfortunately, even though you are not an idiot in this situation, you still need to make a choice. Shut up and be a stepmom. You know a few visits is going to turn into removing it eventually, or get a divorce. I wish you the best of luck. No idiots here. I honestly can't believe the amount of you are the idiots here. Forcing someone to parent a child they don't want, and have been clear from the get-go that they absolutely want nothing to do with children, is just cruel. It's not fair on any party. Your husband can choose to have a relationship with his daughter if he so chooses, but that doesn't mean you should have to possibly relive the trauma of raising your siblings. 100% you are not an idiot here.